Jeremiah.
Yes.
I mean, who does that? Who calls you 5 minutes before the show's about to tape and says they're sick?
I don't know, but we're lucky Michael was here just for support anyway.
No,
That
for
was
sure.
cool.
But moving right along, our second guest up tonight, he's world known all around the world.
Yes.
By every drummer and celebrity around. He's been in the Guinness Book of World Records. I'm proud to announce that we have Bernard Purdie sitting with me, and let's give him a warm welcome. What's up, Bernard? Thank you for coming.
How are you?
My
Bernard?
plasma, sir.
You're looking good as always.
Well, I feel good. Very happy.
good.
Things are good.
Now
been
listen,
nice.
there's a lot going on in your life. I mean, from when you were a little kid to now.
Yeah.
What got you started in the business, and how old were you?
What got me started? I was 3 years old, playing the drums, and I finally got my toy set at 6. But before that, I had my mother's pots and pans.
Right. Oh.
And by the time 5 rolled around, my mother had to buy another set of pots and pans. But the first thing she says is that, see that? Don't touch. And she meant it. I thought that I had another set of pots and pans to play. She said, those are yours. These are mine. That's it.
You can't mess around with mom's pots.
No, listen, when mom puts her foot down, that's it.
That's it.
That totally it.
We all agree with that one.
Oh, my mother was good, though. She had to handle 15 kids.
Wow.
So it was kind of nice. I mean, for me, I was lucky. I didn't know 6. I mean, and as we were coming along, you know, you get to know everybody, you get to know everything, but same mother, same father.
That's great.
God bless them.
All my father's brothers and sisters, there was 11 of them, and they had from 11 to 22 kids,
Oh my goodness.
each one. So that's how our family just grew.
You sure you don't got a little Irish mixed with you in there? No.
Oh, listen, we got everything. We got everything.
That was good, John.
That's great.
And then we had a lot of family reunions. So for us, there was always hundreds that showed up for the family reunion.
Now, what about your family? Were they very supportive of you with your drumming as you were growing up and now to this day?
Most, I would say no. But as time went on, things got a little bit easier.
Yeah, because you started developing a name for yourself.
Well, it wasn't so much a name, but I started developing how to play and make music by myself. So I was fortunate, but I also found out that I had a gift. So, and my gift was easy because it was always about rhythm,
Yes.
and then melody, then the feel. So you had to finally put them all together because that's the way my teacher did everything.
Who was your teacher?
My teacher's name was Leonard Haywood.
Uh-huh.
I loved him.
Never heard of him, but
Believe me, if you'd known him, you would.
Well, you had to be dynamite. You're in the Guinness Book of World Records, so I mean.
Well, that
man.
all came later. That really came much, much later. But my teacher was very, very strict. I had no money. So I was only able to learn by sitting on the stoop and on the steps. So he was teaching everyone else, but I had to learn with everything that he was teaching everyone else.
that's pretty cool.
Oh my
But
God.
So, I could do it. I didn't have a problem. I was close to a photographic memory. I didn't know that. But when he wanted something, he just asked me to do it. All right, show this. Oh, sit down.
Wow.
I made a mistake. I spoke. And the first thing he says, out! You don't exist, out! And he made me leave. And for 3 days, I went to every student that he had and asked and begged, would please let me back in. Please let me, please ask him to. And he made me wait for 3 days. And I cried for 3 days. And my mother and father, they didn't know what to do because they didn't know what happened. But he finally said, okay, You don't exist. Yes, sir. I'd sit like this, you know. And when he wanted something, he'd say, yes, sir. Get up, sit at the drums and play it. Sit back down. Didn't say anything. He'd just tell me what he wanted, and that's what I do. Because I knew what everybody, every student that he had, I knew exactly what he would ask for and to show them.
Right.
Because that's how I learned. But then, as time went on and got into school, he wouldn't let me play drums. I said, but I'm the best drummer you got. He says, I got too many drummers. You got to play another instrument. I said, but you want to be in the band? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Play the trumpet. What? Oh, okay, sir. So I go, practice. I couldn't play the trumpet, but didn't have anything to do with anything. But I blow. I made the sounds. And about a year and a half, almost 2 years later, he said, you can't play trumpet. I said, I can play drums now? Nope. Play the flute.
Oh, my goodness.
I went from the sublime to the ridiculous. But what he was doing was forcing me to learn music. So I did. And that's what I would do.
Now, if you were to compare that teacher to like some of the cats while you were growing up, like say Buddy Rich and Gene Cooper, what would you compare the caliber to your teacher compared to them? Were they all on the same level, or they were just different styles of drummers?
My teacher was here.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy Rich, Gene Cooper. I found out much later that they actually had the same teacher,
Get out of here.
Cozy Cole.
Yeah, I gotta get into all. I'm a drummer too. I don't know this. It's a shame on me.
But the thing is that I got very close, especially to Buddy Rich.
Mm-hmm.
But they became friends of mine. So when I used to tell them about the things that I was doing with my teacher,
Mm-hmm.
they were very happy because they realized that I knew what I was doing. Because every weekend, I go, play, take him, go with him to his job, and after the first break, my teacher would go outside to the van, it wasn't a truck, and kind of fall asleep. I kind of helped him, but I would be holding his water glass, but only it was filled with vodka or gin. But I mean, I'm a kid, so nobody's gonna say that I did something wrong. I was just holding his water glass. So it worked. He'd fall asleep. I'd go sit on the drums and finish the gig.
That's great.
The guys said, oh my God, not again. What? They didn't know what happened. Then they go try to find him. He'd be in the car, sleep. They couldn't wake him up.
Oh, my goodness.
So I finished the gig. And when the gig was over, tear down the drums and drive him home.
That's great.
Yeah, I was 12 years old.
Oh, my God.
You
That's
got
a
me
nice
beat. I
story.
was driving the van when I was 15 years old with no license when I had my band. My father used to give it to us. It was great. I was a big shot. But now let's skip from there and get into a little more into your life. Let's get into where the history where it started with the Guinness Book of World Records that got you to record. Bernard recorded with over 2,500 recordings, right?
No, there's over 4,000.
Okay, excuse me.
Sorry, I mean,
I apologize.
that's
You definitely stand
no,
corrected.
It's over 2,500 different artists.
Okay.
And I've been very pleased because the reason why I don't think that the record will be broken is that they don't record that way anymore.
No.
Right.
We had to play, we had music you had to play. So you go in, they would to do a whole album would take 3 or either 4 sessions, recording. Because you had to do 3 or 4 songs every 3 hours. That's what you had.
Yeah.
And you had to read music because you had the rhythm section, horns, band, whatever, strings, didn't matter. But you were also in the same room. And most people didn't know that within that room, you had to separate. So you had to separate the sound so the drums are not all over the place.
Right.
So I learned how to control the drums with a particular sound. And I did my own dynamics because we had mic for the bass drum, we had a mic overhead, and then we had a mic for snare, toms, and all that. Just with 3 mics, the maximum.
More like a live feel, I guess, right?
Oh, it was live, but they didn't have more than 3 mics because they couldn't control it. Because you got all these other people in there, and I had to learn how to play softly, but with to embrace it with force and everything, but dynamics, and go with it to the point whereas I didn't interfere with anybody else in the band, and that sound didn't travel all over. So everything I did was super tight, but I had great engineers. Not only did I have great engineers, but I also had the greatest engineer, the man who invented multi-tracking.
Oh, really?
He's the one that taught me how to overdub drums.
What was his name?
Les Paul.
Oh, really? Wow.
So I worked in his studio in Jersey a couple of years
That's great.
to learn how to do multi-tracking, which is how I made a whole lot of money because I end up going out and fixing a couple of thousand records.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
awesome, man. I mean, just even thinking about that's mind-blowing.
I started off for the older folks. My first one was Mickey and Sylvia, Love is Strange. From there, the following week was Darsh Troy, Just One Look. And you move on down the line, and you move on High Heel Sneakers, B.B. King. You're coming up the ladder, Ooh Child by the 5 Stair Steps, the Jacksons, Aretha Franklin, Roberta Flack, Donny Hathaway. The list for me is over 2,200 artists.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's great.
But I also covered every genre of music. Jazz, like Hank Crawford, the blues,
The true you with the Grateful Dead,
Grateful Dead.
Stones and all, or no?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I thought
the
so.
Rolling Stones, the, what's the name, brothers?
Allman Brothers?
Allman Brothers. Whiter Shade of Pale. Purple Range, Tommy Shondells. Every doo-wop group out there. Every one of them.
Dupree's, all those guys?
Dupree's, the Drifters, the Coasters,
Monotones.
Manhattans, you name it, all of them.
That's beautiful.
I had the opportunity not only to record with, but playing live with them, especially in New York, because I did Apollo Theater, I did the Fox, the Paramount, all the shows that came into town, simply because I was one of the few drummers who read music.
Yeah,
I didn't know
A lot
that.
of cats don't know how to
Yeah,
read
me either.
music.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know that other people didn't read music. Because when I came to New York, I had to fill out an application to get into the 802. And folks don't know you had to have a cabaret card to work in a club.
Yeah.
And that cabaret card says that you were a licensed musician.
Wow.
Big deal. It was a big deal.
I can
But-
imagine.
As everything else that changes, things change.
Yeah.
But for me, I was just lucky. I had a lot of people that loved what I did